Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for another news update for Friday, November 21, 2025. And I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and productive day. And in the news this morning, St. James, a man charged with robbery with aggravation. A St. James construction worker has been slapped with several charges following an incident in Ocean Point Housing Scheme, Lucy, Hanover, on Monday, April 21. He is 35-year-old Gavin Seaton, otherwise called Willow, of Mount Zion District, Little River, St. James. Seaton, who is also a lifeguard, is charged with burglary, robbery with aggravation, and seeking benefit through professing to have access to a firearm. Reports from the Lucy police are that about 1:30 a.m., a woman awoke and found Seaton standing in her room. She tried to raise an alarm, however, he brandished a knife, held onto his waist as if he had a firearm, and threatened to shoot her. He reportedly then proceeded to rob the woman of $35,000 before escaping through the back door. A report was later made to the police and an investigation was launched. Seaton was taken into custody during an operation in St. James and was charged on Wednesday, November 19. His court date is being arranged. Elderly St. Catherine woman found dead, son in custody. Detectives assigned to the St. Catherine North Police have taken a man into custody in connection with the suspected murder of his elderly mother, whose body was found in an advanced state of decomposition at her home on Wednesday. The deceased has been identified as Jasmine Grant, also called the Sister Grant, an 80-year-old retiree of Cheesefield District in St. Catherine. Reports indicate that about 11:10 a.m., the police were alerted after members of a church visited Grant's home after several unanswered calls to her phone. Upon entry to the premises, the octogenarian's body was observed on the floor in an advanced state of decomposition. The police theorized that she was killed about November 12, which was when she was last seen alive. Initial checks revealed several stab wounds to her head and upper body. The scene was processed and the body removed for post-mortem examination. Her 53-year-old son was taken into custody. Boy who died after being hit by JUTC bus identified. The family of a 10-year-old boy is in mourning after he was killed in a crash involving a Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus in Vineyard Town, St. Andrew. The child, identified as Shamari Sharp, a grade 5 student of Mountain View Primary School, died after he was hit by the bus on 4th Avenue about 7:32 a.m. Reports say the JUTC bus was traveling north along 4th Avenue when it struck Shamari, causing severe injuries. He was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The news understands that he was walking along the roadway when he reportedly stepped into the path of the bus as he tried to get around a car that was parked along the road. A resident has said that the visibly shaken female driver of the bus was taken from the scene by the police. Meanwhile, Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chair of the National Road Safety Council, said he is concerned about the number of children being killed in road mishaps. 15 children have been killed along the nation's roads since the start of the year. Dr. Jones is urging parents to ensure the safety of their children traveling to and from school.
Most of the deaths in this age group, 0 to 18, have involved children riding on a motorcycle. But some, including this young child, have died as pedestrians trying to find their way home safely. This, of course, raises the issue of how do we as a nation that cares for our very vulnerable young people ensure that they reach home safely day after day coming from school. Is it that our children need more supervision? For example, should an adult or older sibling be there for them when they come off the bus and walk home, or when walking the entire distance from school? Should we try to expand the school bus system so that no child is left behind to fend for his or herself? How old is old enough to negotiate the ever-present traffic on the streets of the nation's capital or any other busy thoroughfare in Jamaica?
JDF Coast Guard makes a major cocaine bust. The Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard has made a major strike against the drug traffickers seeking to smuggle cocaine into the island. This follows the seizure of 506 kilograms or more than 1,000 pounds of cocaine on Wednesday evening along the country's southern coastline. The multi-million-dollar bust occurred after the JDF Coast Guard intercepted a suspicious vessel south of Morante Point. This led to a high-speed chase. During the encounter, the drug traffickers reportedly dumped several packages overboard and escaped. The Coast Guard recovered the drugs, which was handed to the narcotics police. It is believed that the cocaine shipment originated from South America. Superintendent Patrick Rowe, head of the Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division, told the news that the cocaine has a street value of hundreds of millions of Jamaican dollars. He said the FNID and the JDF Coast Guard have been working closely with their overseas partners to intercept illicit drugs entering Jamaica's borders. Superintendent Rose said the seizure is a significant blow to organized crime. SRHA urges public not to attack vector control workers. The Southern Regional Health Authority is urging members of the public to desist from attacking vector control workers carrying out their duties following a stoning incident on Tuesday evening. The vector control team was in Silo, St. Elizabeth when the incident happened. The SRHA says the team had stopped to address a machine malfunction when one member was struck on the shoulder by a stone. Another team member was then hit and the team retreated after additional stones were thrown at them. It says the two team members suffered physical injuries and pain and had to seek medical attention. The matter was reported to the police. The SRHA is reminding the public that the vector control workers are properly identified by uniform and identification cards and operate from marked Ministry of Health and Wellness vehicles. It adds that the chemical used in the fogging process is certified and approved for use and is safe to operate or be applied around an environment with residents. In the meantime, the authority says the team has ramped up its environmental health activities to minimize adverse health-related outcomes in the parish. It says they have been doing health education, inspections, activities and assessments in areas of food safety, wastewater management, water quality monitoring, vector control, and general sanitation. St. Anne stakeholders want help before hurricane hit residents and businesses. Local government officials and the business community in St. Anne are calling for greater attention to be given to hurricane-battered communities amid extensive damage to parochial roads, infrastructure, homes, and businesses. Members of the business community say the cost of fuel to operate generators and the price of goods have become burdensome as routines have been disrupted. Dr. Ransford Davidson, president of the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce, contends that outside of Ocho Rios, other major towns such as Brownstown have been overlooked as the extent of damage on the ground is not truly being recognized. Dr. Davidson said it is concerning that several communities are still deprived of essential services more than 3 weeks after Hurricane Melissa.
Whilst the Chamber commends, of course, the government, there is a prevailing concern that many of the hardest hit communities in St. Anne have not received the level of attention and resources urgently needed to restore normalcy, help families, and hope to residents. Families are hurting, businesses are struggling, and essential services are yet to be fully restored. We're talking about loss of income, widespread power outages, absence of water supply, the absence of alternate energy necessary to keep small business going has been lacking. Many residents in communities are in desperate need of care packages, hygiene products, and other basic essentials. I think we need a more robust response mechanism to ease the burden on our citizens and accelerate the rebuilding process. When you walk, for example, in the town of Brownstown, you can see where small businesses are struggling. And so this is a clarion call for some level of focus to be made on St. Ann, so that lives can be normalized to some extent.
Meanwhile, Michael Belnavis, mayor of St. Ann's Bay and the chairman of the St. Ann Municipal Corporation, said the devastation in the west, officials have been experiencing challenges attracting aid to the northern parish.
We have been complaining in St. Ann, that we were hit also. I mean, people have been saying to me, oh, we didn't know that the devastation was so much in St. Ann. It may have been to the extent of Black River. But there's been a lot of fallout in St. Ann also. So yes, we're not as devastated as Black River is, but there are areas within St. Ann that is just as devastated, but it's been in pockets. So the challenge has been to convince a lot of people that the aid needs to come to St. Ann also, because there are a lot of people who are dislocated.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.